Hello. Today we start working on our custom Linux distribution, which is based on the Arch Linux kernel. Um, but obviously we can't do something like that without first planning it out. So today we're going to start by planning out our Linux distribution. It's called Songbird OS. It's now got a I have a GitHub repository for it. Here it is. And in here, this is its logo. It's in the thumbnail of the stream as well. But this is the logo for Songbird OS. I think it looks pretty good. Hopefully we can do something with this. If anything, it will be a fun project to work on. And the way that I plan on doing this, I don't use draw.io, so I don't know how to use this that well. It's going to be, we're kind of going to be following Linux from nothing. Which is a series created by Maple Circuit on YouTube. And it kind of aims to almost be a Linux from scratch replacement. I think it's a really cool project. And I like the idea of it. So that's kind of what we're going to go for Songbird OS. So we've got Linux from nothing. Which is going to be kind of the base for Songbird OS. We're effectively doing Linux from scratch, but we're doing Linux from something. So Linux from nothing is just from the base kernel, completely configured from scratch using tinyconfig. Linux from scratch is very similar to what we're doing, and it's very similar to Linux from nothing. But what we're doing is Linux from something. So I'm definitely not qualified to do this at all. So we're just going to have fun with this, hopefully. It might become a train wreck as things go on. But it'll still be good for just learning more about Linux itself. And it will definitely help if I ever need to troubleshoot my own system, which I will inevitably. Um, so yeah, I think it should be a cool project. What are some of the main ideas for it? Like, how is it going to look and run and feel? So it's going to run like Arch. It should be rolling release, if I can be bothered to maintain it. Otherwise, it will be point release like Ubuntu or Linux Mint, or unfortunately Manjaro. But hopefully, management will be better than that. Um, it it should feel a bit like Endeavour OS. We might not have a default GUI. We might have a default GUI. Depends on how things work out, compile times, that kind of thing. We should, if we do have a GUI, we'll use Calamares, which should give us some pretty good control over what we install. We should also be able to offer a good range of desktop environments and window managers. One that I really want to have in there is Neri. This stream was going to be done on the Neri window manager since I've been configuring it over the past couple of weeks. But I couldn't get screen recording to work in time, so hopefully the next stream will be on Neri. You're here to steal, don't mind you. Alright. I mean, I'm happy if people take ideas. I don't really mind. If you're taking inspiration from this, then I think that's kind of cool. We're going to create our own custom window manager and desktop environment for this project as well, but that'll be once we have GUI support. We'll also want to create a custom package manager like Yay or Paru, but it will be specifically for Songbird. We might have a custom repo like Arco Linux does, but it's more likely that we'll just use something like the chaotic AUR for precompiled AUR stuff. But we'll see how things go. We'll definitely have Pac-Man, because it's kind of required for an Arch system. But I think it should be a fun project. Your videos kind of look like Bog. I know Bog, not personally, but I know of his existence. And I've watched his videos, and I have taken some inspiration from them. And that kind of video quality is almost what I look up to. It's what I'm aiming for. The main inspirations for my video styles are Dreams of Code and Dreams of Autonomy and Bog. Also kind of taking a little bit from Brody Robertson. But those are kind of the people I take inspiration from for my videos. We're going to use, I think Arch has its own core utils package, which we will probably use, since it'll be better to use the native package than to use the generic new one. But we might end up using the generic one. We'll definitely need glibc. That's non-negotiable. So Arch core utils is obviously very important. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know I could do that. I'm going to ungroup this then. So we'll take stuff from the Arch Linux over here. I really like Arch Linux, and that's why we're using it for this project. But we should probably look at doing this with other distros as well. Mainly, mainly things like Debian, Ubuntu. Fireship is also awesome, and the Linux Experiment are both really cool channels. I take inspiration from a lot of people in like the FOSS world, the Linux world, and in the programming world in general. Yeah, so we're going to use the Arch core utils. I believe there are Arch core utils. Yeah, the core utils package, but it is just the generic core utils though. So we can just use the regular core utils. There's no Arch specific ones. I think we will be making our own core utils though. Not our own core utils, but our own kind of central utilities for the distro. I definitely want to give the option, either include it by default or give the option for give the option for the fish shell, new shell. There's a shell called Elvish? Yeah, I was right. So we need to offer a variety of shells, window managers. So we're going to have our Songbird window manager, Songbird desktop environment, and Songbird package manager, which will kind of be core. They will be very important to the distro. but they will take longer to create, and we'll create them at certain stages of development. Otherwise, we'll be overwhelmed with a bunch of things to do, which I don't want to have to deal with. I'm gonna actually have to decrease this in size, just to 20. Shrink it as well. So that's kind of this is the base of it, I guess. We've got Linux from nothing is kind of a guide we're going to follow. The Arch kernel is what we're going to use, core utils, SWM, SD, SPM. What made me learn to code? It was in lockdown. COVID 2020, and I was really, really interested in how games actually worked under the hood. So I kind of started looking into it, and I found that it was through programming. And so I wanted to start making my own, but I didn't want to pay for anything like Unity or Unreal. So I used the Godot engine, and I learned GD script. And that kind of started it all. 2021 was kind of an on and off year, because I was still very limited and only doing game dev. And I think I really started getting better last year when I started making actual applications, when I started making linkage and quartz. I think that definitely helped, and I've definitely got better, and I'm using languages like Rust, and now we're doing this project. So that's how I learnt to code. I'm completely self-taught. HTML and CSS. I mean, HTML is a really good start. It teaches you it's not just text. And CSS has structure. They both have structure. And it starts teaching you a bit about syntax. Yeah, Arch uses the new core utils. What distros have I used? I have, while I was testing, when I was still on the MacBook, I tested out EndeavourOS, Manjaro, Debian, Ubuntu, Arch, using Arch install. But I think that's about what I did, and a lot of them crashed because it was an old version of VirtualBox. So I didn't get a very good experience with a lot of them, but I have tried them. Since I moved to EndeavourOS, since I moved to EndeavourOS, I've tried Debian, and Alpine, and NixOS. I think that my favorite distro that I've ever tried is EndeavourOS. I still use it. My second favorite is NixOS. It's a really cool distro. And my third favorite is Alpine. It's really lightweight. It's awesome. I don't really care about the whole systemd thing. It uses initRC, which I feel like would make it slightly more difficult for daily use for me. But it's a really good lightweight distro. Yeah. So those are the distros I've used. NixOS was a really cool experience. It's very different. We did that a few weeks ago on stream. We obviously need glibc in there and some libraries. Let's have a look at the shells we're going to have. So we'll have an option for quite a few shells. We'll have obviously the default bash. We'll have Z shell, which is what I use. I love Z shell. It's awesome. We'll have a new shell, which isn't a POSIX shell. I'm not like, I don't really care if it's a POSIX shell or not. We need more. We need extra lines on this table, and I don't know how to use the tables. Nope. All right. Can I just Yeah, I'm definitely. Hmm. Can we add a new line? New line, edit data. Okay, well, I don't know how to use draw.io. This is the first time I'm using it. Well, let's just write them out in a list like this. So we have our shells. Right, we're going to offer quite a few shells. We have, let's just decrease the text size here now. Yep. We'll have bash, Z shell, new shell, fish, elvish. I think that's a decent range of shells to start with. I mean, if we really wanted to, we could create our own shell, which would also be a fun project. Drag Scaladraw, it's far easier and nice to look at. I also think that Z shell should be default. It's more modern. There's not too many differences between them. Yeah, it's kind of just more modern. It has a lot more compatibility with stuff. Yeah. I've used Red Hat and Fedora and other derivatives since I was a kid. My family is Linux only. That's cool. That's really cool that your family is Linux only. Linux only, I think, is a really good way to go. It integrates you into the open source community very early, and it's really good for learning about all the kind of stuff to do with Linux, IT, sysadmin. What other shells do we want to offer? So we've got Bash, we've got Z shell, and then we have, I believe, 3 non-POSIX shells. Elvish, I don't think is a. It's definitely not Hmm. Yeah, it's definitely not POSIX. I actually don't think I have Kden Live installed on this system. This is my only system. But I reinstalled a couple weeks ago. And I just haven't got round to reinstalling Kden Live yet. Because for the short that I put out a few weeks ago, I just used Canva. That was it. Um, I don't have Manim installed either. Um, I think this is all the shells that we actually need. If there's other shells that you would want to see, let me know, and we can have a look at them and see if we want to include them. Canva is nice. It is. Um, okay, Windows isn't that bad. Well, we have the telemetry. We've got the bloat. We've got the adware. Um, we had this talk about Microsoft Recall the other week, a few streams ago. Yeah, that stuff isn't cool. Also, Windows just kills your system. It's so resource intense. Elvis Shell. Ooh. Stop hating on Windows. It's also not free and open source. I saw something about Excalibur earlier. Yeah, try Excalibur. It's far easy and nice to look at. I will look at it for next stream. If DaVinci stopped releasing Resolve for Linux, then you could always use something like Wine, Proton, or Bottles, or even a VM. It wouldn't be the end of the world unless they became like Adobe or Microsoft and they just locked it down and it was garbage on Wine. Look for Elvis Yadav. I just like Adobe because I can connect to all my projects. Fair enough. That's fair. Um, we don't really have. I mean, we've got Photopea, we've got Inkscape, we've got GIMP, we've got Krita, but they're not connected. It's not a suite, but they're also free. They are free. And if you want Microsoft Office replacements, then we've got LibreOffice and OnlyOffice. Yeah, Adobe's business practices are they're a little dodgy. Um, Inkscape is awesome. I don't have it installed, I don't think. Yeah, I don't have Inkscape or Krita or anything. This is basically a fresh system. I have Neri installed, but I don't think it's an app. No. Fair option too, isn't it? Yeah, Google is also a fair option. Overshadowed. Hmm. Yeah, he looks like the kind of guy that would be really controversial. You could use the Microsoft stuff online and use LibreOffice for opening documents. That's also true. Google Docs works. That's all connected. Microsoft Online also works. I don't use either. Well, I use Google just because I have a Gmail account. It's really useful. But if I really, really need to do like office work, I will probably install only Office or LibreOffice. We've got some options for shells. I'm going to remove SPM from here because we'll do a section dedicated to package managers. Yeah, I'll look into Excalibur for next stream. This needs to be at 20 pixels. Uh, 20. Nope. Just let me write at 20 pixels size. There we go. Nope, that's... Oh, okay. We'll do it in a second. We have SPM. We have... Oh, Pac-Man. We have... Pac-Man. We have Yay. We have Paru. We have SPM, or Songbird Package Manager. We can have a few options. There's probably other ones that I don't know about that are also really cool. But like I said, I don't know about them. So we're not going to include them for now. If you know any, tell me. I use open source for most everything except video editing and work stuff. Excalibur is also open sourced. Ooh. MIT. Definitely open source then. It was quite weird for me to switch to Linux because I'm from a business school. I need Excel. Yeah, you can use Google Sheets. Isn't there... I can't remember what it's called. Doesn't only Office also have the... LibreOffice also have their own thing? LibreOffice. I think LibreOffice has their own Excel clone. I'm just going to move this all to the center, or more central, just so we can fit stuff above it. Do we want to start in a TTY or do we want to start in a GUI? That is the main question, I think. I think we'll have the option for both. And then we need to decide on what the default GUI will be. Yeah, we can do one with the TTY and one with the GUI, and we need to decide on, so we'll have a TTY or GUI install, which means we'll need to create an install script, because it's supposed to be easy to install. Oh, come on. GUI or TTY install. I think that the main priority will probably be the TTY. GUI will be secondary. Mainly just because TTY is easier. That's just it. If it's easier, then that's what we'll go for. How's stream health doing? Stream is healthy. This is good. This is good. This is all good. What else do we need? We need a bootloader. And the bootloader I really want to use is Refined. I think it's an awesome bootloader. I don't use it, but I might. Okay, this doesn't look good. This is bad Refined. But it's a really, really cool boot manager. It will auto detect Windows, I believe, if I recall correctly. So we'll give the options for grub, system deboot, and refined. Which means that this should actually go into its own section. It's text box. Bootloader. Put this here. Now, of course, we have refined. And I actually managed to get the capitalization on that right first try. We have grub, GNU grub. And we have system deboot. Oh. Goodbye, Hummy. If you see any live later. Ah, nice. We should be doing Distro live streams each week, same time. 4 a.m. UTC on a Sunday. That's what we should be doing. If things change, then I'll put it on the community tab. Yeah, if things change, I'll put it on the community tab and it'll be all good and fine. We could create our own bootloader. That's a very bad idea, actually. We're not creating our own bootloader. Or are we? No, that's a very bad idea. If we were going to, I'd have to look at the source code. In here. Package build. Where are we getting this from? URL. Oh, it's just actually under the URL. So we have this kind of basic system. Um, mm. So we have GUI or TTY install, Linux from nothing, it's Arch kernel, core utils, SWM or SDE. We will have other things, and we'll actually expand that now. Actually, the shells can go here. Um, so we need to decide on some GUIs. We're also going to decide on a color scheme, and I have one in mind. How much originality will your distro have? Will it be more of a copy or a whole different thing? That's always the question that we ask people when they post their distros on Reddit. I'm not sure how different it will end up being. I think the main differences will be through the package manager, the default bootloader, color scheme, logo, that kind of thing. But because we're starting with the Arch kernel and we're not doing Arch ISO, which was one of the options, we do have much finer control over the system. Another major difference will be with SWM and SDE, which will hopefully maybe be packaged up for other distros as well. Ubuntu, Debian, definitely Arch, obviously. Um, um, but I mean, at this point, everything is copied. That is true. It won't be like a hand-picked kernel like CatchyOS is. That's too much work for a hobby project. And that's exactly what this is. This is a hobby project. This will be different from Linux from scratch. I think we will still do Linux from scratch at some point. Because that'll be good as well. But this is effectively our first step in Linux from scratch. Can you tell that I may be a little biased towards window managers? I have a beautiful i3 config on my GitHub if you want to check it out. We will ship i3 Sway FX because we are not shipping Sway. Sway is nice, but you have to have Sway FX. Also, this will be with PyCom included. Both will have the auto tiling script. I'd love to try something, but it would be my first Arch kernel experience. It will probably be horribly broken. But if everything goes wrong this time, we can do this stream project again under the same name, Songbird OS. And actually kind of complete the distro properly if this all goes south. And obviously we'll still have some stuff set up, Songbird Package Manager, Window Manager, desktop environment. We'll probably also create our own bar and dock widgets, that kind of thing. If you want a good Arch kernel experience, I would say Arco Linux. I haven't tried it, but it sounds really good. Endeavour OS, obviously I use it. It's amazing. CatchyOS, another one that I haven't tried, but also seems really good. Kind of more geared towards gaming, but they definitely know what they're doing. And it seems like a really good distro, and it's getting recommended more and more along with Endeavour OS for Arch kernel distros. You could also try I have a whole list. could try Garuda Linux. It's a cool Linux distro. It's also Arch based. It has BTRFS, that kind of thing. It's cool. It's a very nice distro. I definitely want to try Void OS soon. Because Void OS seems like a really cool distro. Imagine a distro where you pick a few people and they get to commit. How bad would it be? It wouldn't. It wouldn't be the worst. That's kind of what the kernel mailing list is for. It's people committing their stuff and trying to get it merged into the kernel. It's kind of what already goes on. But if you just had unrestricted commits, that would be awful. That would actually wreck the distro. Might be too early to say, but what do you think would the biggest strengths, weaknesses of your distro would be? The biggest weakness would probably be poor design. Because this is my first time doing this, and I've never done something similar to creating a Linux distro, there's definitely the potential that it'll be extremely unstable and poorly optimized. And that's something that I'm going to accept. If it comes out really good, great. Whether I have the energy to then continue developing it, that's another question. Luckily, we can probably merge with the upstream Arch kernel. That's fine. Also, we'll get the same weaknesses as as Arch Linux itself and other Arch distros. Unstable sounds good. They can be more volatile. Things will break. For example, Discord recently got corrupted with glibc getting updated. If you leave it for too long, things will probably break when you update. Mirrors will not be there. There will be no mirrors. If we have mirrors, then something has gone obviously wrong, and it's not my songbird. Yeah, there won't be any mirrors. It will just be hosted on GitHub. How heavy of a distro do you think it will be? We'll aim for on par with Endeavour OS. If we do better, that's really good. If we're on par, not bad. If we're over, then honestly, I'm fine with that. There's a very good chance that we'll be over, especially if we include a GUI. The strengths, we will definitely be including or trying to include BTRFS, so backups. Obviously no more RiserFS. We'll obviously have ext4 and that other ext1. Not ext3 or ext2. I don't remember what it's called. XFAT. No, not XFAT. XFS. Yeah, XFS. We will definitely not be including NTFS, but we might include the NTFS driver stuff. We'll definitely be trying to include BTRFS because it's awesome. Apparently there are some stability issues, but it's a cool one. No RiserFS, no NTFS. I've never heard of JFS or HFS. We'll obviously include X4, maybe X3, but we kind of want to be a bleeding edge distro, so probably just X4. We need obviously FAT32 and stuff like that. Why is this split into out of tree file systems? These are in tree and fuse file systems. We can also try having ZFS in there. Maybe. It would be cool. We obviously need system D. Because system D is the way. What is it going to be called? Songbird OS. Yeah. The logo has a story. Well, it doesn't have much of a story. I had the idea for the name and then I made the logo. There was no real story behind it, but the actual design is a real bird. This is based on an Australian robin. This one, the pink robin. And this is actually based on a real picture of one, a real photo of a pink robin. I don't know if I'll be able to find the images based on, but I think they're really cute and they're really nice songbirds. It's been a while since I listened to the song. It was on Wikipedia. But the song, from what I remember, was quite nice. Very cute little robins. Nah, just use NTFS. Ooh, nuh-uh. How do you do your art? This was created in Inkscape. I believe I created this in Inkscape. Because it's a vector graphic. Or I might have done it in Krita. We can check. Unless I didn't include it. It might have been... Was it... It might have been Krita, actually. I think I've lost the .cra files. So... yeah. But... yes. It was either created in Krita or it was created in... in Inkscape. I think it looks pretty good. It took a while to create, but it has a nice style to it. Sound should be the song of the bird. That's a good idea. That's a good idea for the boot sound. So we can definitely do that. What other ones do we want to include? KDE Plasma, obviously. What we are using right now. GNOME. I used to be a massive fan of GNOME, but I don't think I am anymore. I don't think I really like it. We have to do LXQT for the weak systems. I can't forget the weak systems. We won't include Deepin. We won't include LXD. We will include XFCE. I might say... no, we have to say yes to Cinnamon. I don't think that's how you spell cinnamon. How do you spell cinnamon? That is not how you spell it. Whoops. It is the double N. Cinnamon. I was right the first time. We won't include mate. I just don't like it enough. I don't care for it. Regolith is Debian Ubuntu only. I'm sure there's one major one that I'm forgetting. We could ship Budgie. I do like Budgie, but it kind of fell off a bit for me. It resembled Windows too much. I did land up saying it was my second favorite desktop environment. I take that back. It's not my favorite desktop environment anymore. I've definitely forgotten some desktop environments. There's no way that I haven't. Budgie, Cinnamon, Cosmic. Do we want Cosmic? Ooh. Sugar. Isn't that the one, sugar on a stick, that was used on those the computer per child program thing, where they were, every time you bought one of those cheap plasticky computers, one would be donated, and it was like, it ran for, I'm pretty sure it ran Fedora, sugar on a stick. It's under RHEL. I know it's not a RHEL. It's just backed by RHEL. SOAS, sugar on a stick, and from what I saw, it looked exactly like this. Yeah, it's like an education-based Fedora distribution, Fedora-based thing. Where did I get the Arch Linux star icon? It's just one of the icons from the Telecircle Dracula icon theme. Yeah, there's Arch install if you want to do that, but if you want to install it the proper way, let me show you the Arch wiki. The Arch wiki is the way to go. If you're going to install it, the installation guide is here. Just follow the steps. If you have issues, you can ask us on Reddit. Reddit is your friend. Probably. Unless you get flamed for what you ask because it's been asked 100 times before, we will help you. I might land up helping you. Yeah, the wiki makes it pretty easy. I haven't done it myself, but it is one that I plan to do very soon. As in, and by very soon, I do mean the next few weeks. We will probably replace one of these distro streams with a trying out distro stream. We'll definitely break up the stream schedule a bit, so it's not repetitive every week. Next stream will also probably be planning, because we're definitely not done. Did I forget XFCE? No, it's on there. I thought XFCE was all capitalized, but it's not. Interesting. It is just XFCE. Unofficially supported. Paper DE. What are you? I've never seen this before. Is it like a Neri type thing? Well, that actually looks really good. That looks amazing. It's based on Wayfire. Wayfire. That's a good one. That's a point. You can use a different window manager on Budgie. Oh, Budgie doesn't support it. Never mind. We're not including Plasma Mobile. That is not worth it. Unless it is, actually. We might want to do that, because then it becomes a mobile distro. If you have, for some reason, an x86-64 mobile device, which exist. There's like the, what's it called? Chewy H100 Max, which is a tablet. Plasma or Gnome? I used to be a Gnomie. I used to be a massive Gnomie. Now, I'm Plasma, KD Plasma. I'm using KD Plasma right now. I don't have Gnome installed. I do think Gnome is cool though. I like it. There's just too much that you have to do to get it to work nicely. Custom environments. Yeah. Compositor, window manager, you know. We can have a look at window managers as well. I think this is all of the... Do we want to include Cosmic? Catchy OS also includes Cosmic. We could unofficially support it. You know? Window managers. We've got some. We just don't have a bunch. Stacking. We need OpenBox, I think. Either OpenBox or Fluxbox. We're not using ice. We want Wayland only, though. Wayland. Oh yeah, compositors. Yeah, of course. Stacking. Enlightenment, Hikari, Kwin, Larry, LabWC. Of course. How could I forget? We definitely want Wayfire, I think. 3D compositor inspired by Compiz. We might actually want to try out Wayfire. Wayfire seems cool. Not tried it. We should probably try out all of these just to make sure that they're good. Wayfire. We want LabWC because, of course, we want LabWC as an option. We're not going to include iPlan. Unless we do. You know. How do you get your icons? You go hybrid graphics under Arch. Oh, I don't use hybrid graphics. I don't have a dedicated GPU. I'm on a Ryzen 7 Pro 3700U with integrated Vega 10 graphics, Radeon Vega 10. You go to install Arch. Good luck. Flux is better than OpenBox. How do I get my icons? You don't go to the KDE theme settings. Hopefully none of this doxes me. Global theme. So you go to your colors and themes, you go to icons, and you hit get new. And then you get the new icons, you just search for Teller. And you do need to search for Teller, not Dracula. And then it should come up with just Teller circle icons and also the Teller icons. You do that, hit install, and then it should give you the options for the different ones. The cursor is Bibata. Also, same thing, same kind of thing. Just go here, hit the triple dots, and hit get new. Or if it's there, just click get new. Window decorations, I'm just using Breeze, Plasma Style, Breeze, Application Style, Breeze, Nightlight, none. Colors, Cappuccino, Mocha, Flamingo. I'm using just a custom background for on the EOS Breeze theme. It's just under there. Gotta go, good luck. Thank you. The cursor should be a bird feather. That's not a bad idea. We should include that as an option. We need to have a look at some more here. Western, WO roots. Neri. I love Neri. It's amazing. It's cool. You know, it's what I'm currently trying to set up. I don't think we'll include Qtile. I tried it and I didn't like it. Actually, I did like it, but I couldn't get it running properly. And I was trying to use it under X11. We could include River. I think River's cool. I haven't used it. Toasted on Codebag. It's definitely a cool project. It's written in Zig. I didn't know it was written in Zig. Oh, that's cool. The wiki. River wiki. Community layouts. Bum bum bum. In a POSIX shell in Zig, Nim, TypeScript. POSIX shell. This is an example. It's just a shell script. That seems kind of cool, to be honest. We will include River. We will also have to create a custom config for it. How far do you want to go with the bird theme? I don't know. We're going to be using the Capuchin color scheme. It's really nice, and it's kind of a stretch, but cats kind of relate to birds. They catch the birds, you know? And it's eye-catching. I don't know. I think that's a really awful connection, and it's kind of just because I like the theme. But we'll take it. We don't want to include Hyperland. We might include Hyperland. I don't know. Runs itself on Wayland. SDDM does. LY? No. Oh, that's a good point. We need to include some different things. Displays a single full screen application like a kiosk. That's actually really cool and useful. Xmonad. We need to include some. Here's what I'm thinking. We don't include anything that's X11 based. The only reason being is because Wayland is the future. There's some important stuff in X11 that I need, but I don't use it. And I was trying to get the OBS WebSocket stuff working, so I could actually control what state we were in from my phone, but I didn't get it set up in time. So yeah, we're not using that. We're not using that today, but hopefully we will be using it next time. I think this is all we're going to include. Actually, we have some X11 stuff in here, though. I don't really want to have X11. Then again, some people do really rely on X11. So we might actually include some X11 stuff. I'm going to put i3 back. i3 plus PyCon. Because I know that some people find it kind of important that they're running X11. For my new install, my goal was to not use X11, and I have succeeded with that so far. So. Linux distro creation stream that makes this Linux tech tips. What? um. Okay, I think this is good. We need to put something here. We have bootloader, we have GUI, we have package manager, we have core utils, we have the Arch kernel, we have LFN, GUI or TTY install shells, you know, the normal stuff, the important stuff. What we need to include, otherwise, some basic packages. We need to include an editor. That's important. To me, at least, that's important. I will put that over on this side. Oh, we have nano, micro. Actually, I don't think we should include nano. Personal opinion, I don't think we should. Vim, NeoVim. NeoVim should be an option, in my opinion. See, I don't like Emacs, but it should be an option because I know that people do like it. NeoVim or just Vim. I used to put together a Linux distro before. How long do I think this will take? A long time. This will be many streams. We'll actually just set this to packages and default packages. Micro slash NeoVim slash Emacs. Just extend this. Increase this to 20 pixels. You know, the normal stuff. Will this actually work? That's a very good question and one that I do not know the answer to. Yeah. It should work because we're not writing the kernel, we're not creating our own custom kernel. It is the Arch kernel. We might change it a little bit, but otherwise we should leave it the same and not touch it at all. If we touch it, that's when stuff starts to get broken. And that's when things go south quickly. Yeah, we don't want things to go south, so we're probably not going to touch the kernel too much. If we do, we might wreck it. And that is my honest thought. If we touch the kernel, we wreck the kernel. Yeah, default packages. WM/DE. We also want other stuff. So you recompiling the kernel or not? The kernel won't be compiled anyway. We're probably we're going to clone the kernel just in case. We're going to fork the kernel. We're going to fork the Arch kernel. And potentially make some modifications to it. I did include fish. I did. So we will probably recompile the kernel, but recompilation will probably any compilation will probably be. I was gonna say that it will probably be off stream, but we will just use all of the cores on my CPU, and if all of them peak at 100 and we're at 90 degrees on my laptop, that is fine. Because it shouldn't be for too long. We will include Firefox or Zen or Chromium. I refuse to include Chrome. This is also going to be I'm sure OBS will work great while compiling. Yeah, the stream will probably lag out a ton. But I probably won't. I shouldn't use all of my cores. I shouldn't use all 8. We'll use maximum 4 to 6. So we will still have some cores, but it will definitely bottleneck the system. And the streams could get very laggy. But as long as I don't completely starve the system of resources, it should be fine. What else do we need on a system? We need an editor. Well, we need a GUI editor. I'm not gonna ship quartz. I'm not gonna force that upon people. We could these are optional. So you don't have to pick either of these. These can actually be a separate section. So for the stuff that's optional, we can actually just have it in its own kind of section. You do need an editor. We will force upon the user sudo or doas. Do-as. I don't know how to say it properly. We will force that upon the user. Because the user needs that. The user does not need a window manager or desktop environment. That is something that the user does not necessarily need. They can stay in the TTY if they want. They do need a shell though. Gedit. I think that we'll leave the text editors down to the distros. The text processors. We'll have LibreOffice. Yeah, so this is optional. Or compulsory. Mandatory. Looks like I'm writing TOML. Optional. Force them to use Vim. No, that's mean. What would be meaner is forcing them to use Emacs. That is cruel. You should not do that for anyone. Forcing Emacs upon someone is pure evil. And I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. So, yeah, we're definitely not going to force that on anyone. Um, what other what programs would you want on your system by default? Um, we can have them, grab something like Yazzie, which is what I use, or Ranger, or the other one. I can't remember. Midnight Commander, or that's a game. I can't remember. What else do we really need in a base system? So the optional stuff is for like a full install. Then the mandatory stuff is for a base install. Steam. We do not need Steam. We can have that in the optional section, actually. That's not a bad idea. But it's not mandatory. We can also have, I guess, wine. Or can we not distribute wine? I don't think we can distribute wine. Do they have a GitHub or a GitLab? Pretty sure they do. Somewhere. It's just not easy to find. Get involved, news, download. Contributing. Is this GitLab? What is it licensed under? Can we distribute it? Wine. What license are you under? What license are you under? Or are you not under a license? License.old? The new lesser general public license. LGPL. Okay. But where does it say that? Here. The new LGPL. Does it actually tell us what we can and can't do? No. I'm gonna have a fun time reading through this. I think we can distribute it, but I'm not sure. LGPL. Is it LGPL 2.1? There it is. Please just give us the short and sweet terms. Modification and distribution. No, yes. You may copy and distribute verbatim copies of the library complete source code as you receive it in any medium. So we can probably distribute wine. Gparted, good idea. VLC, we're not including VLC. VLC is not getting included. But we can include. I guess we can do VLC or MPV. I use MPV, by the way. It's much better. Also Haruna, which is the KDE one. Actually, we'll leave that one down to the distro. We do need disk management stuff, but I'm not sure if that's part of core utils. Because it might be. It might be part of core utils. Source code, mailing list, discussion. Can we get a list of the commands that it includes? Source code. Um, hmm. I don't know if it might include some stuff. Just joining what is the base? Arch? Yes. Arch Linux is the base kernel. But we will be building on top of it. It's not through Arch ISO. It is through the Arch kernel base itself. We've got to add core utils. You've got to add all of that stuff. I think this is all we really need. Flatpak. We're not doing any Flatpak stuff. Flatpak is. We can have it in the optional section. With my new system, I have not got Flatpak installed, and I don't want to install Flatpak. I think that's like the mandatory packages we have that we want. I do have them written down, and I'll just grab my notebook with them. Do I have it in here? Not in here. It's in my other note, I guess. This is for linkage. Ah, here we go. This is for Songbird. This is revision 2. Default packages. We could give the option for links. We can distribute my NeoVim config. So we can have NeoVim, and then in the optional one we can have SolarVim, which is not a distro, it is just a config. I think that's everything. Oh, we need a terminal emulator. Because the optional stuff is just if you're doing like a. No, we need to. We need to separate this into like minimal and stuff. The stuff in the optional section is the stuff if you're not doing a TTY install. Kitty, Ghosty. Even though it uses libidwaiter, and I really don't want to use libidwaiter. Flatpaks take a while to install just because they're sandboxed and they're their own environments. And I gave up with Flatpaks. They're annoying. Ghosty. Alacrity, I guess. And that's all of the default packages that we will include. Or the optional ones. Let's just draw a line. Ooh. That is our base kind of Songbird OS stuff. Like that. Let's just center it. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh dear. If I group this, then can I center it? Align. No. Control Shift G, Control G, back. Just ungroup it all. Well, we can group it because this is kind of done now. Center it that way. Yeah, center it that way. Perfect. It's all kind of off-centered though. I'm just going to put it, I don't know, there. Makes it look better. Yeah, Alacrity got a mention. Have you considered using something like Excalibur? Yeah, this was the first time I used Draw.io and I'm not using it again. It's very confusing. Painful to use, in my opinion. Alacrity got mentioned for the first time in years. No one uses it anymore. I'm sure people do. But it's not talked about anymore. Kitty is my honest opinion, Kitty is better. Click here to save. Okay, sure. Saving, done. Can we like export this? Save as, export as, SVG. This will export it onto my machine though. That's actually fine though. It's all good. Links automatic. Transparent background, of course. We always need the transparent background. Diagram size, bed images and bed fonts, links automatic. Sure, we can export that. Songbird OS plan. This is bad. GitHub, pick a folder. Songbird, planning. Yeah. Save that, saving. Okay. If you want to have a look at this, it's now on GitHub, my GitHub. It's under here, under Songbird OS. Under planning, under the plan.svg. It's all in white. It's probably a bad decision. You can't properly see it, which is a problem. I'm going to make all of the text black, because then it'll be easier to read. Or, yeah, black. And specifically on this, we want to just, like, yeah. We're going to overwrite the file. SVG, 100%, transparent background, diagram, yada yada yada. Good, export. There again. Plan. Save. Yep, replace it. Updated. Okay, hopefully this is easier to see now. Yes, but the arrows are still white. Don't worry, we'll get there eventually. Black. Oh. No. Oh, okay, there it is. I'm gonna zoom in just to make this less painful. This is the most painful part, selecting stuff so it's more visible. My favorite part of any project. Line, black, okay. I don't know, 3 points. Save. Actually, let's just remove the background on here. Fill off. Yeah, the border can be the black as well. The entire diagram can be black. Save this. Okay. We go again. Export as an SVG. This is the most boring bit. Save. Oh no, cancel file. Export as SVG. Transparent background, export. Save. It should say that there's already one. Replace it. Change the commit message to updated. Done. Now, if you go here, you should be able to see the diagram and its all of its beauty. There you go. This is the plan diagram. What's a painful program? Are you planning on any other package manager since Flatpak is out? Nix, Homebrew, or just Pacman and AUR? Well, not Homebrew, because I've heard some things like Homebrew's not the best on Linux. In terms of modules or something like that, casks. Nix is an easy install for the user. We could include that. Can you just added a black background instead? But we like the transparent background. The transparent background is what we want. This is going to look awful anywhere except here. And I'm okay with that. This will flashbang you, by the way. We'll put it back in dark mode. We could have... never mind, we're going to do exactly what you just said. I'm gonna set the text color. Theming and styling, my favorite. Text color. Grab you in here. Apply that. Lovely. And then we can do the lines in the same color. And then the outline of you in the same color. We can also set you to 3 parts. 3 points. Lovely. Perfect. And then we can set the background color. Grid, background color, 1E, 1E, 2E. Apply that. Ah, look at that. Perfect. You could use the transparent version inside the README file though. That's true. Well, we still have the transparent version, and then we can export as an SVG again. We don't want a transparent background, and this will be colored. There we go. Lovely. That was well done. Big vote for Nix. Okay, well, we might use Nix then, because Nix seems to be popular. My thought was that it's easy for the user to install it themselves. But sure, we can go ahead and add Nix if we want to. Git fetch and git pull. Oh dear. Got to push some refs. All before. I was meant to. Whoops. Is it GPL or GL? GL? Get pull. Yes. That's what I was meant to do. There we go. Planning, and then we have the SVGs. We can delete you, and we can edit you. We can do this instead. Plan. Slash planning slash plan.svg. Dot slash or planning slash readme.md and the regular readme command-m updated readmes and push that. Vim looks incredible. It's near Vim and it's my custom config. Could you please define what the goals are? Why are you building a Linux distro? For learning purposes. That's the main purpose of this. It's just for learning purposes. If I wanted to do this for anything else, yeah. If I wanted to do this for anything else, for any other reason, then I would do a lot more research. But I don't want to do it for any other reasons, so it's fine if I just go ahead and mess around, really. Does this work? It does, but it's all in black. It should be fine if you're on a light theme. I'm just not on the light theme. It's fine. I can update it. Totally. Did not expect to go developing a distro. Him. It's on my GitHub. It's on my profile. My GitHub profile is beautiful. Just ignore the bottom half. The top half is fine. It looks amazing. Anyway. Brain is in the head, not that head. But amazing. What? Alright, I think that's where we're going to leave it. This has been a very productive stream. We've done pretty much all the planning that I wanted to get done. That's cool. So yeah, we're going to leave it there for today. Thank you all so much for watching. This is the highest stream turnout we've ever had. And there's like surprising amount of people. I thought this would do well. I thought this series would do well, but I didn't know it would do this well. So I will go ahead and plan the next few streams. This was kind of a test run to see what it would be like. But I'll go ahead and plan the next few streams. I know that there is definitely at least 1 week in the near future where I won't be streaming. But yeah, it should be pretty good. Yeah, I'll go ahead and plan the next streams after we finish. But thank you all so much for coming. Like I said, I did not expect this much of a turnout. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming. If you enjoyed like the video, will I be posting a video? Not for this stream. Yeah, when I'm done, when we're done with the project, when we're done with major steps, then I'll create videos for it. Like when we do the window manager in the desktop environment, they will have videos. You did it. You managed to install Arch. Well done. You can officially say I use Arch, by the way. Nubs, say I use Arch, by the way. Do it. Say it. Yeah, when we get major parts of the project done, I will make videos for them. But thank you all so much for coming. I'll see you next stream or next video, whatever I do next. It might be a Neri video or it might be on Micro. The next stream, I believe, is next week at the same time. And then the week after, I probably won't stream. I think I have stuff to do. But then, you know, I can see it. Yeah, I'll go ahead and plan the next couple streams. They should be up today, hopefully. But yeah, thank you. I'll see you next time, and we will end it now.